Since we were last together last month, we have had an earthquake and an eclipse and some groundbreaking success, no pun intended, with our new front hedge, and also groundbreaking success with our student performances at the Regional National History Day competition, so very exciting. The board and Dr. Kelly have continued to work on goals for the year, and also putting a budget and a proposition before the voters. And I just want to give a brief update on progress with our strategic goals for the year. We continue to work on communications. We've got a meeting this Friday, one of many that we've had, on continuing to improve the website with the subcommittee. Our superintendent has led the way with community relationships and engagement with the mayor and the police department and broader engagement in the community. So we're very grateful to Dr. Kelly for that. We are currently in contract renewal discussions with the Bronxville Teachers Association. We've had several meetings to date and have completed the process of exchanging proposals. In terms of facilities, this year you will see a proposal for a pump enclosure and a new security vestibule at the flagpole entrance to the school, completing enhanced security at all three entrances. And we'll see a larger project in the future, hopefully when interest rates become a little bit more attractive. With regard to more strategic budget discussions, in the fall we focused on health insurance and transportation costs, and we've been pushing forward on alternatives all year to deliver in these areas in a more efficient way. We know these areas impact our employees and many community members, and we aren't looking to pull the rug out on anyone, but to thoughtfully take steps toward incremental improvement. We've also been fast at work on the board policy manual. With this meeting, we will be up to date on all of our required policies, and will now begin the process of cleaning up areas that are outdated or can be updated. For example, possibly adopting the Bronxville Promise as a mission statement. Also at this time, there's one non-required policy that the committee will likely consider. We're aware there's been a lot of discussion in the community about technology in the classroom, about phones and young people. There's a new book out by Jonathan Haidt on, I think it's called The Anxious Child, the Anxious Generation, The Anxious Child. There's been op-eds in the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times on that topic. We know everyone's talking about it. We're talking about it. And we hope to have an agenda item on that topic for us all to better understand the district's policies and enforcement with respect to technology in the classroom. So look for that in the future. We're very excited about tonight's meeting because we have the privilege of carrying out one of the board's most important and very satisfying and joyful responsibilities, which is to award tenure. So with that, let's get on with the meeting. And I think next we've got some minutes to approve, is that right? Were there any comments or changes to the minutes from the March 21 meeting? Is that right? There being none, could we have a motion to approve the minutes from the March 21st meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's so nice to see so many colleagues here tonight and their family members. First, some news highlights. As I was preparing for tonight's news highlights, I realized it was time for a superintendent video. So be on the lookout for my video on Friday, which will include a number of updates, including our response to the earthquake, the solar eclipse school experience, our 8th grade Boston trip, this week's elementary school Walk to School initiative, as well as our high school students' impressive results in the National History Day state finals. I did also want to bring some clarity to an issue that had come up earlier this year regarding our international service trip. After careful consideration, the board and the leadership team have decided to continue supporting the international service trip through the high school's International Service Club. Although the district will not be sponsoring future international service trips, we will support the students' trips, the students' planning, as well as their reflections upon their return. This year's trip, this past spring break, demonstrated a new and successful model of how we, working with the parents in partnership, can help ensure that our high school students continue to have these life-altering experiences. I want to wish our girls flag football team a huge congratulations. We have a girls flag football team, and they had their first home game on Chambers Field this afternoon. They're quite an impressive bunch. Also, we are so fortunate that the Bronxville School Foundation supports our philosophy of not resting on our laurels and continuing to grow our innovation. An example of this is that we have 2 administrators visiting schools in Finland to observe their educational system firsthand. Finland, as you know, is consistently in the top-ranked schools in the world. We look forward to hearing what they have learned and how we can benefit from that here in Bronxville. And as Susan mentioned, the leadership team and the board is looking at our smartphone policies, the enforcement of smartphone policies in school, as well as instructional technology within the classroom. And we look forward to reporting out on that, hopefully by our June meeting. Now to the highlight of our meeting. I want to begin with our tenure recommendations. This, as Susan mentioned, is the most important responsibility of the superintendent and the school board. We're very excited about our 8 candidates, which are before the board this evening. So I'm going to start. We have 2 administrators who are up for tenure. Okay, it's a little awkward for you, but as long as you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, good. You need to hear me. So the first candidate I am putting before the board this evening is Aaron Kind. It is with great pleasure that I present Mr. Aaron Kind to you as a candidate for tenure in the Bronxville School as our Director of Guidance. Aaron began in Bronxville as a guidance counselor in the high school and has been the Director of Guidance for the past 4 years, serving the entire district in this role. During Aaron's time as the Director of Guidance, he has thought critically about the programming of the department and how to best serve the needs of our Broncos from their youngest years in the elementary school through their post-high school planning. Aaron's strategic skills have led to a restructuring of the department in order to incorporate a position that supports key years in a student's K-12 experience, their transition into middle school, and their transition into high school. This new position supports the 5th and 9th graders at crucial times in their education and serves to bridge between our schools. The restructuring has provided the high school counselors with more time to dedicate to their work with students on preparing for, applying to college, and successfully determining their post-high school plans. This programming has included the introduction of junior workshops that prepare students for a variety of aspects of the college process. Additionally, Aaron has organized and facilitated case study nights where students assess college applications. He has brought admissions representatives to parent nights to discuss from their perspective the application process, and he has led students through the changes in test policies as well as the recent Supreme Court decisions that have impacted college admissions. Through a generous grant from the Bronxville School Foundation, he has implemented College Kickstart, which has provided students and their parents with key information regarding college options as it relates to Bronxville-specific admissions data. Aaron has kept abreast of new information regarding college admissions and has communicated it clearly to parents and students. He has analyzed our college admissions data and generated a newsletter for seniors and their parents summarizing Bronxville-specific data and trends to help inform the students regarding applications. It is sent in August of students' senior year. Aaron's continuous engagement with the community as well as the college landscape has included his planning for one counselor to attend the National Association for College Admissions Counseling Conference each year. The counselors have also participated in local college information sessions, and with Aaron's leadership of the department, have gathered information more systematically so that we ensure we have accurate and Bronxville-specific information about the colleges to which our students apply. The counselors have also implemented programming to support students who apply to the California state school system, Canadian schools, as well as schools in the UK. Aaron has redesigned our school profile to better reflect the unique programming of our Bronxville High School. In addition to his leadership responsibilities in his role as director, Aaron maintains a caseload. When the leave replacement for one of our counselors took a full-time position, Aaron covered the seniors in that counselor's caseload in order to ensure that they successfully navigated their post-high school planning at a crucial time in their high school career. His door is always open, and the student body looks to him, regardless of their counselor, for advice and a listening ear. Aaron's leadership of the guidance department across the 3 schools has led to aligned programming from our care program in elementary school to the revised advisory program in the middle school and our updated freshman transition program in the high school. He has innovatively reimagined the delivery of this programming and restructured the department to ensure that the systems and people in place meet the increasing mental health needs of our students. Not only has he successfully managed a caseload of students in the building, he has provided leadership in moving the department forward. He has innovative ideas to continue to expand services provided to students, as well as how we best position ourselves to colleges and universities. A parent describes Aaron as a mentor to their children and that he helped them and encouraged them when they needed it most. He made time to listen to them. Aaron stopped to talk to them when he saw them in the hallways, and he took the time to develop the relationships necessary to make them feel supported and valued. He let them know that they mattered to him. A high school student describes first interacting with Mr. Kind when he was the student faculty legislature advisor. Quote, "He was somebody that I could trust and who I felt was looking out for me. He is thoughtful, kind, and cares about kids. He wanted what was best for all of us. I felt that I could always go and talk to him, even though he wasn't my official counselor, and that it would be in confidence and that he was interested in helping me. Mr. Kind exhibits the qualities that all kids want in a high school counselor." It is my pleasure to recommend to the Board of Education Mr. Aaron Kind for tenure as our Director of Guidance.
We're doing separate resolutions. Could we please have a motion for the Board of Education of Bronxville Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of our superintendent, to grant tenure to Mr. Aaron Kind as Director of Guidance in the Bronxville Public School effective July 1, 2024.
So moved.
So we have Michael and Sarah. All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, Aaron.
Somebody remind me, I want a picture of all the tenure candidates at the end. I forgot last year. Next, Mr. Joseph Mercora. It is my pleasure and privilege to recommend Mr. Joseph Mercora, Joe, as principal of Bronxville Middle School. Joe was initially hired as Bronxville Elementary School's principal in July of 2021, and after a highly successful year, we recommend he begin as our middle school principal in July of 2022. He has brought a deep understanding of the needs of our students, respect and support for the teachers, and perspective in his relationships with parents. He demonstrates a commitment and superb leadership skills to this assignment. Joe has established a unified vision for his school, supporting all aspects of the Bronxville Promise, establishing higher standards, a systematic approach to response to intervention, and a child-centered school climate, which is positive and fun. Joe has built a collaborative culture with the middle school faculty. He has earned the respect of students, teachers, parents, and colleagues. Joe does his homework and communicates effectively with all constituencies. He has taken a high-performance school and has taken it to the next level of excellence. Joe's K-12 perspective adds value to our system-wide efforts. He is keenly aware of how many school issues, including budget, facilities, and district operations, are intertwined. Joe has proven himself to be a valuable contributor to our leadership team, combining the flexibility of a collaborative spirit with a firm commitment to educational quality and the needs of our children. A parent described Mr. Makora as a partner who is dedicated and committed to the middle school. He is seen as a problem solver who approaches issues with a positive can-do attitude. He is quick to return phone calls and emails. He sees parents as partners and treats them as such. Mr. Makora exudes warmth and kindness, which is something all middle schoolers and their parents need in a principal. An 8th grade student shared that Mr. Makora is very open to hearing the ideas of students and wants to work closely with the middle schoolers to make their middle school experience better. He is kind and welcoming, and he really cares about the students and our happiness. He stands near the front door when we are arriving to school in the morning, and he greets us by name. He is always available if a student needs to talk, and he's a good listener and is trustworthy. I know that if he says he will think about something and take it into consideration, that he actually will. I feel lucky to have him as my principal and wish I could have him longer. Mr. Makora is a special person. Joe is a skillful leader and a superb colleague. He reflects and responds to changing circumstances, demonstrating his capacity for growth and making him an adaptive leader of the first rank. It is without hesitation that I recommend to the Board of Education the tenure of Mr. Joseph Makora as middle school principal.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Bronxville Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of our superintendent, grants tenure to Mr. Joseph Makora as building principal assigned to Bronxville Middle School, effective July 9th, 2024. Motion to approve. We have Christina and Sarah, I think. All in favor? Congratulations, Joe.
Now I'd like to call up Mr. Aaron Kind to speak about 2 counselors that are eligible for tenure, and he's also going to speak about a high school teacher, Stephen Kavari, in Ann Meyer's absence.
Good evening. I'm thrilled to recommend Deanna Hassan-Jakai to the Bronxville School Board for tenure consideration. The counselors at Bronxville School seek to provide services that recognize and value the academic, social, and emotional well-being of each student. Counselors not only respond to the immediate needs of students, but also design programs and structures to proactively support the student body. Since day one, Deanna has done just that and more. Deanna thinks critically about the way in which programming is delivered to our students. Over the past 4 years, Deanna has suggested, redesigned, and executed multiple programming improvements. One example of that work is with our sophomore class. Following a professional development experience, she returned to the office with enthusiasm for a new approach to presenting to our 10th graders. Deanna consistently leverages the resources from her professional development experiences and redesign lessons. Deanna leads through action. She has served as a mentor to the 2 leave replacements we took on last year, and currently serves as a mentor to Tim Nelson, the new 5th and 9th grade counselor. However, more impressive are her contributions to our faculty district-wide. Deanna has led multiple book clubs through the Bronxville Teacher Center, which are always well attended and often have a theme of faculty well-being. She wants everyone in the building to care for themselves, so in turn, they can better care for our students. Deanna has also proven to be an innovator within the department and the faculty. During her first year, she was instrumental in redesigning the freshman transition programming, a particularly challenging feat given nearly all of it was done virtually. More recently, Deanna was vocal about offering institution-specific workshops for our seniors. I gave her the green light and she just went running. Deanna does not rest on her laurels. And more importantly, runs with an idea when she knows the impact will ripple throughout the student body. Deanna has engaged with the world around her through countless hours of professional development experiences. She even visited St. Andrews abroad during a school break because she had a number of students considering the college. There's nothing that holds her back. At her heart, Deanna is a fierce advocate for her students, a valued member of the department and the faculty, a club advisor to the SFL, and someone who cares deeply about her role in the student body. I wholeheartedly recommend Deanna Hassan-Jakai for tenure.
Thank you, Erin. Resolved that the Board of Ed of the Bronxville Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, grants tenure to Ms. Deanna Hassan-Jakai as guidance counselor in the Bronxville Public School effective September 1, 2024. Congratulations, Deanna. And we need a vote. Motions, please, to approve.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
It brings me tremendous pride to recommend Dr. Alyssa Levy to the Bronxville School Board for tenure consideration. Alyssa has consistently proven to be a critical thinker. At our weekly child study team meetings, she always brings students to discuss. She seeks feedback from the team and actively contributes to problem solving, intervention planning when other counselors or administrators present students. Alyssa is also a leader and an innovator. In response to the COVID lockdowns, higher education institutions produced a tremendous amount of virtual resources. Alyssa spent considerable time during the summer of 2021 to build out a college admissions resource page consisting of virtual resources for students and parents. The page is still active on our department's website. Alyssa is also the first to volunteer to redesign and improve presentations, record tutorials for new platforms that we have introduced. In short, she is always thinking of creative ways to better serve our community. She is most definitely a highly valued member of the department. Alyssa has also demonstrated a desire to engage in the world around her. During her time in Bronxville, she completed a doctoral program and earned her administrative certification. During both endeavors, the goal of her culminating research sought to improve the well-being of our students. What is most telling about Alyssa and her contributions to the school is that her office is a revolving door of students and faculty. Our students and faculty appreciate her warmth, insight, and measured approach to counseling. The department and the high school would not be the same without her. At her heart, Alyssa is a compassionate advocate for our students. She adds tremendous value to the high school. She is someone students, parents, teachers, and administrators can trust, and I wholeheartedly recommend her for tenure.
Resolved that the Board of Ed of the Bronxville Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, grants tenure to Dr. Alyssa Levy as guidance counselor in the Bronxville Public School effective December 1, 2024. Could we have a motion, please, to approve? We have Sarah and Eddie. All in favor? Aye. Congratulations, Dr. Levy.
Yeah.
I guess finally from the high school, it is with great pleasure that I present Stephen Kavari to you as a candidate for tenure in the Bronxville School in the area of secondary science. Mr. Kavari demonstrates through his pedagogy an innovative approach to the instruction in our Bronx River research course. This hands-on citizen science class has progressed each year through Mr. Kavari's leadership to include cutting-edge scientific approaches in the field of ecology research. Students develop sound scientific questions to ask about the local ecosystem and investigate the answers to those questions, which have, at times, resulted in changes in local decisions that impact the Bronx River. Mr. Kavari's work for NASA also demonstrates his passion for remaining innovative in his field by engaging with scientists who are studying climate change. His leadership through his work with NASA brought our faculty resources and professional development from NASA scientists. It has also provided our students with unprecedented opportunities to work with NASA in scientific research. Most recently, Mr. Kavari's engagement within the district has resulted in a district-wide solar eclipse event that he co-led. The event provided a once-in-a-lifetime memory for our community to experience together. Stephen Kavari has been a tremendous asset to the high school through his work in the department, including his leadership in the Bronx River research class. He has worked outside of the classroom advising the astronomy club and coaching modified track. He has engaged with the world through his work with NASA as an associate research and STEM education expert. Stephen is a passionate and dedicated teacher and a smart and collaborative colleague. It is my pleasure to recommend him for tenure in the area of secondary science 7 through 12.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Bronxville Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, grants tenure to Mr. Stephen Kavari in the tenure area of secondary science in the Bronxville Public School effective September 1, 2024. Could we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Good. All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
I would now like to call up Mr. Joseph Makora to present two candidates.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kelly, and it is my great pleasure to recommend Mr. Elijah McCann for tenure in the area of secondary social studies teacher. Eli is a wonderful person and teacher who truly does exemplify the Bronxville promise. He's a very thoughtful teacher and person. He painstakingly takes the time to get to know every student he works with and designs lessons to meet their individual needs. He motivates students by demonstrating genuine concern for their well-being. He is authentic in that concern, and they relate to it each and every day. His classroom is truly that safe place where students strive and look to go to, and where students in the middle school especially need. He's truly a lifelong learner, always willing to take classes and new methodologies to help improve his practice. His work results in active learning each and every day in his classroom. He is actually one of the teachers in our social studies department that during his tenure run taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So he has a complete middle school perspective from where they begin and where they end. Eli's classroom is a place where students are inspired to work towards positive outcomes in all they do. The students have referred to Mr. McCann as their biggest cheerleader in school. Student engagement and inquiry are a constant in his classroom. His learning environment is positive and friendly. Eli facilitates lessons that require students to be self-directed, deepen their understanding of content, evaluate possibilities and solutions, and construct a reasoned judgment. Parent communication is so important to Eli. He builds those wonderful positive relationships with parents and is never too busy, tired, or anything to meet with a parent when there is a concern. Eli will send emails about upcoming events and classes, and parents are always appreciate and compliment his communication. He's willing to make phone calls, Zoom meetings, and any accommodation to help all parents. He's an educator that lives up to the Bronxville promise. He can be found in his classroom long before the day begins and long after it ends. He can be seen at extracurricular events cheering on his students, and there is not a trip that we go to that Eli does not sign up for, and is a big active part and leader in that trip. Bronxville Middle School is very fortunate to have Eli McCann as a member of our team. He truly is always willing to go that extra mile. It is without hesitation that I recommend Mr. Eli McCann for tenure.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Bronxville Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, grants tenure to Mr. Eli McCann in the tenure area of secondary social studies in the Bronxville Public School, effective September 1, 2024. Could we have a motion to approve, please?
Motion.
And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
And it is now with great pleasure that I recommend Ms. Sarah Zonenschein for tenure in the area of secondary mathematics. Sarah is truly an outstanding educator in all aspects. She truly exhibits the Bronxville promise in her work and in her actions each and every day. Sarah is no newbie to Bronxville. She was previously tenured as an elementary school teacher in our district, where she did incredible work. Most notably, I'd like to speak of is with the 5th grade, preparing them for middle school. Our students were very fortunate when she made that decision to move on to middle school and teach math. She's worked with our algebra students and our math 8 students and provides all that foundational knowledge for them to go on to high school and really be successful in what they do. She doesn't just teach mathematical lessons in her class. She teaches life lessons about perseverance and never giving up. You can see that in everything that she does. She's thoughtful in her care of students as well as planning of lessons. In that planning, she always considers the students' academic as well as their social emotional needs in their learning. She's a lifelong learner herself, who's always willing to try new methods to engage students and give them confidence in what they do. To walk into Sarah's classroom is to truly be in that student-centered learning environment. She's a leader in every sense of the word, who creates a place where students are inspired to work and strive and work hard. And I will tell you, teaching algebra isn't always the easiest thing to 8th graders, but Sarah makes it fun. And Sarah makes those kids believe that they can do it. And they do. When you look at Sarah, she encourages her students to take risks in their learning and not to be afraid to get it wrong, because that's how we learn to get it right. Children are completely engaged in all forms of their learning. Her learning environment, again, is always a friendly place to be. It's a can-do place where you can do the work, and you can, if you keep trying, you will be successful. She facilitates lessons that require students to be confident in themselves and think about what they're doing. Sarah is a member of our middle school Sunshine Committee. She loves the Sunshine Committee because it gives an opportunity to celebrate her colleagues and spread kindness and positivity among the staff throughout the middle school. Sarah has formed incredible relationships with her students. She has also formed incredible relationships with her peers. What truly exemplifies a wonderful teacher to me is when you see the former students of Sarah Zone and Shine knocking on her door just to say hello and update her on how they're doing in this particular school year. She's always happy to help them and is always someone that is willing to reach out to them if they need her. Having the opportunity to have some students in the elementary school prior to coming to middle school has given Sarah that unique opportunity to form strong relationships with them and their families. In these ways, Sarah makes a positive impact in the school community in small and large ways. Parent communication is very important to Sarah. She is never too busy to meet with the parent about any concern that they may be having. And again, Bronxville Middle School was very fortunate when Sarah decided to make that move from elementary to middle. Sarah Zone and Shine is a key member of our team, and it is my great honor and pleasure to recommend her for tenure.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Bronxville Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, grants tenure to Ms. Sarah Zonenshine in the tenure area of secondary mathematics in the Bronxville Public School, effective September 1, 2024. Could we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations, Sarah.
Last but certainly not least, we have Ms. Rakia Adams, our elementary school principal, to speak on behalf of tenure candidate Mr. Alex Kelly, of no relation.
Good evening, everyone. I was just told this is actually not a mic, so I'll speak as loud as I can. It is a distinct pleasure to recommend Alex Kelly for tenure at the Bronxville School in the area of school psychology. Alex is completing his 3-year probationary period as he began as a K-2 school psychologist in September of 2021. It was a unanimous decision to bring Alex on board, as he was not only a standout candidate, but well known to us in that he served as one of our school psychology interns from Teachers College, Columbia University during the 2014-2015 school year. Even back then, as he was completing his master's degree, Alex impressed us with his ability to connect with children, teachers, and parents. Dr. Vestola, his supervisor at the time, said in 2015, "Alex is exceptional and very talented." She noted, "In fact, I would say that in my 35-year career," that's Dr. Vestola's 35-year career, "Alex has one of the most sophisticated clinical skill sets of any intern I have worked with. His upbeat, warm personality has enabled him to connect with a range of students." At the completion of his internship and master's program, Alex was hired in Nyack School District, where he worked and received tenure as a K-5 school psychologist under the direction of his principal, Mr. Joe Macora. Joe shares that Alex is exceptional. I hired him twice. Here in Bronxville, Alex is an asset to our team as a highly skilled school psychologist who works with all students in kindergarten through second grade, as well as our primary special class. He approaches his work with a great sense of purpose, thoughtfulness, and a true commitment to the well-being of our students. Over the past 3 years, Alex has been responsible for conducting a number of initial and triennial psychoeducational assessments. Throughout his involvement in this process, he built trusting and understanding of students' needs and developed appropriate interventions. Additionally, Alex practices individual and group counseling with our youngest learners through a dialectical behavior framework. Further, he is a leader in supervising our graduate and doctoral level psychology interns and externs, as well as training our school personnel in a positive and empathetic approach to social emotional learning and behavior management. Alex's enthusiasm, clinical skills, keen intellect, and superb ability to assess and connect with children and their environment all combine to make him a school psychologist of the highest quality. When thinking about Alex's work through the lens of the Bronxville Promise, he exemplifies leadership in his ability to create and oversee a loving, nurturing environment for his students and colleagues. Alex shows innovation in his ability to recognize opportunities for improvement and take risks and add value to the Bronxville Elementary School. His willingness to deepen his understanding of child development and therapeutic and behavioral best practices while evaluating possible outcomes without judgment supports the disposition of critical thinking. Alex is continually creating opportunities for his students to be engaged citizens in our school through supporting them in social skills groups, participating in B3 assemblies, and prompting kindergarteners who need a little extra encouragement to say hello to people in the hallway. Our youngest Broncos gain a sense of pride in themselves as they spend time building their skills and confidence with Mr. Kelly. When I asked students in Mrs. Sheehan's second grade class to describe Mr. Kelly, they eagerly shared the following sentiments. Mr. Kelly is a nice person, and he helps you a lot with your feelings. He does not give up on you. If you ever feel sad or stuck in emotion mine, Mr. Kelly helps you and gives you strategies to get through them. I think he is very helpful. He knows what to say when I have trouble with something. He is very, very kind. I don't know what the school would do without him. I think it would be much harder around here without Mr. Kelly. I agree. Mr. Kelly is very good, and I actually think that he is the best person in the entire world. That's awesome. Alex, you are an incredibly approachable and skilled school psychologist who has proven to navigate some challenging situations and lead families, children, and teachers through vulnerable times with incredible poise, compassion, and professionalism. It is with great pride that I recommend you for tenure to the Bronxville School. Congratulations.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Bronxville Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, grants tenure to Mr. Alex Kelly as a school psychologist in the Bronxville Public School effective September 1, 2024. May we have a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, Alex.
Okay, quick picture over there of the tenure candidates, and then you're free to go. I'm sure you have work to do. Quick, quick, quick.
Yeah? The families know.
It's a tough one because you want to go places.
Exactly. It just,
Yeah, I hear you.
it's just, probably not feasible, but.
Okay.
All right, so I just have to say, I'm intrigued by the Sunshine Committee.
Yeah. I
I
wasn't
feel
sure
like
what that was.
I feel like maybe that's what people refer to the board sometimes, the Sunshine Committee.
That's what we are. That's what we are at the same time.
Yeah, it's a
heard
nice
that.
opportunity
I've
for
heard that,
colleagues
yeah.
to celebrate each other and to come together,
wonderful.
just like the board.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you for indulging us. It's such an important aspect of what we do, and I thought it warrants the time. So thank you so much. I think we're ready to move to the personnel items.
Yes.
So you have before you a list of items of personnel actions. There are a couple of FMLA leaves. As a result of that, there are overages for you to consider so that all of the sections can be covered during those FMLA leaves. We have a recommendation for a new high school math teacher. That brings closure to the high school hiring as a result of the retirements. So we're very excited about that. In addition, you have before you a substitute teacher aide to consider, a school district medical consultant, as well as an addition to the spring roster, adding a boys modified lacrosse coach. I ask you please to consider items A through R this evening.
And everyone's had an opportunity to ask questions on these recommendations and before the public session. So with that, can we please have a motion to approve items A through R?
Motion. Second? Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The board is in receipt of our financial report for the month of March. The projection for the year-end surplus is mostly consistent with prior month and remains strong. We continue to see expenditures forecasted near break-even. However, as we get closer to the end of the fiscal year, I'm seeing our expenditure budget tighten a little compared to the prior projection in both salaries and contracted services. However, we are bailed out by revenues, which continue to project strongly. Non-resident tuition, special education tuition, interest and other income, and now health services billings as completed by the treasurer will all be favorable this year. And most likely sales tax, but we won't find that out till even after June when we get our last payment. But we can comfortably forecast over $900,000 just in revenue surplus alone. And when you combine that with the small surplus projected from expenditures, we're at about $1 million, which allows us to allocate easily $500,000 from fund balance to offset the tax levy next year. And that budget will go before voters in May.
A few questions on the
Sure.
budget transfers.
Yep.
The big ones were into substitutes and some grounds, operations and maintenance.
Yep. Substitutes, that's where a lot of those overages are coming from.
Okay.
You know, with, when people go out on FMLA, the overages that they are paid through the substitute
Okay, so we
lines.
just had,
Yep,
we had more than we expected.
Oh, yeah.
budget-wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
yep.
Okay, thank you.
There are no financial action items this month. However, this is, the reason we have this meeting on a Tuesday is because we're required, I guess by statute, to vote on the BOCES budget this month. As a component member of BOCES, we're assessed a portion of their administrative and capital budgets based on our enrollment as a percentage of all of the BOCES component districts. That figure for Bronxville is $286,981 compared to $287,196 the prior year. That's a decrease of 0.07%. That figure is included in the budget that we adopted last month. And each district is required to vote on the BOCES administrative and capital budget. If the budget were defeated, BOCES would be limited at their prior year budget. Other than these payments, we use BOCES for all facets of technology. Financial, student information, software, hardware, network management, firewalls, backup, etc. Transportation management, professional development, athletic scheduling and officiating, recruitment and other HR services, some special education services, career and vocational and tech students on occasion, and a host of other smaller cooperative services totaling over about $2 million. We in turn receive about $700,000 annually in BOCES aid against these expenditures for a net cost of about $1.3 million. In my opinion, BOCES has been a valued partner over the last decade. I'm sure Brad would agree. And boards have typically voted in favor of the BOCES budget, past boards, if the increase was somewhat in line with what we are experiencing. Obviously, this year is favorable to us. And we're also required to vote on BOCES board candidate John Filiberti, who is running unopposed.
Does anybody have any questions on the BOCES budget? I've had some questions from community members about it, so I kind of dug in and actually had the chance to attend their annual meeting last year, which was interesting. It was interesting. So, as you said, Dan, included in our purchases from them are things like final site costs, where we host our website. That's, I think, around $40,000, and Infinite Campus, I think we purchased through
Yeah,
BOCES.
just about anything we do technology related.
Yeah.
Any service that BOCES has a hand in.
Yeah, so all the member districts, we contribute to their administrative budget. The thing that really hurts is that half their administrative budget is just retiree health insurance for their program budget, which is a lot of vocational classes and other kinds of programming that is centrally offered through BOCES. So just, that's just kind of by way of overview. But we do believe that we save money purchasing a lot of these things through BOCES.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, $287,000 this year, and the amount for next year is, our share up for next year is what, Dan?
286,981,
Okay.
down a hair,
Okay, all right,
mostly due to our declining enrollment.
yeah. And, are we voting separately on the budget and the candidate? Yeah, okay, could we have a motion to approve that if there are no questions?
Motion.
Pete?
Second. Yeah.
Michael, yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
John Filiberti, former or current Eastchester Board of Ed member and president. Also VP of Merrill Lynch and an air traffic controller in Leesburg, Virginia. So he seems very qualified. We have a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks,
Moving
Dave.
on to facilities, we have a lot going on. We have the capital projects reserve transfer for the security vestibule and the flood pump enclosure on the ballot for May 21st. If passed, our architects, LAN, expects to submit both projects to the New York State Education Department by June 1st, which is basically immediately after the vote, if approved, because funding has to be in place before they consider a project. Currently, the New York State Education Department backlog is about 6 months. After they begin review around December, we would expect to obtain a building permit by February 1st, 2025, at which point we could begin bidding the project somewhere between February and April of 2025. So we're really not looking at construction for either of these, especially the inside portion. We might be able to get the flood pump enclosure done before the summer of '25, but the security vestibule will be a summer of 2025 project, most likely.
Okay.
Unless they think they can do it in 5 days over a break, but I doubt it. As was mentioned a little earlier, we had the hedge installed over the last break. That portion of kind of the landscaping renovation for the pond field side of the building was funded by the PTA. We thank them enormously. They've been supportive. The support we get from both the PTA and the Bronxville School Foundation is incredible. We have a plan for getting the pond field landscaping restored with a combination of trees, shrubs, widening the sidewalk, etc., and that may take some time. And the village will help us with trees along the road. We will use some of our own maintenance funds as well, and we're seeking other partners along the way to help us as well. And this is very important, without impacting other philanthropic endeavors in the village. We don't want to, steal anybody's thunder by grabbing other money that may be directed elsewhere, to this project. That's something we're trying to avoid. And then we have heard some concerns regarding the outdoor classroom and its proximity to Midland Avenue. We will work to get a landscape buffer between the fence and the classroom. People just feel it's a little close, like right by the road, even with the fence there. So we'll try and get some landscaping in there.
Have there been some classes out there yet?
It's just starting.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, but
It's just starting. We're creating a sign-up calendar because it's really open to classes K through 12. So we want to make sure that all teachers and students have opportunities to do that.
Yeah.
So we're working with Brad to set up a structure, and it will also help us monitor usage.
Great.
And we have a facilities action item. The only change order for approval for the outdoor classroom, which in fact is a credit in the amount of $2,750. That's a net credit, which took out irrigation lines and added electric and data conduit, which are bid alternates. There were no change orders for the project for either a change in scope, document conflict, or discovered conditions, which is very rare in our experience. So it was a very successful project with a cooperative vendor, and I'm asking the board to approve this credit change order so we can close out the project.
Any questions, comments?
Not about the change order, but Dan, do we have an idea, did Land come back with an estimate on the security vestibule? I know we were trying to get somebody to look at that for us, just to get a ballpark.
Yes, we have the estimate.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. And it's within the authorization for that we'll vote on, that everyone will vote on May 21st. $1.3 million. That's the combined total for the vestibule, which is roughly $600,000, and $700,000 roughly for the flood pump enclosure.
And did GSX look at it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
If there's no more questions, could we have a resolution to approve the change order recommended by the architect a net credit of $2,750.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Dan.
My pleasure. Let's see, we have one other action item. This is the meeting every year where we look at athletic mergers for next year. Items A through G. Let's see, we have girls swim and dive, girls volleyball, boys and girls skiing, boys swimming and diving, ice hockey, softball, and girls ice hockey. Notably absent at the moment is flag football, because I think we're gonna take that one on ourselves. Most of the girls who were playing out there today were ours, you know, including that lefty quarterback who, you know, and she may have some offers after today's game. So, you know, the mergers are a way to get, as a small school, to get our kids involved in something we wouldn't be able to support on our own.
Are any of these new or different from last year?
No.
Okay. Any questions?
I think this was the first year the board approved girls ice hockey.
Mm-hmm.
We have had a merger for boys ice hockey for many years, but there was interest. I think we had a female student or two that had been playing on the boys, and it was time she joined a girls' team. So the board approved that for the first time this year.
For this year?
Correct.
So a year ago we approved it? Yeah.
Correct.
Great. But we don't know who's gonna host it.
That one is to be determined.
Okay.
Do we have any numbers on how many kids are participating in each one of these? From our
Yes,
school?
I don't have them with me, but Joe Haven has that.
That'd be-
Girls ice hockey, I can tell you, is one.
One girl. All
And
right.
volleyball has, over the past couple of years, fluctuated between 1 and 3 girls.
I think softball might be 2 at the moment. Let's see. Hockey's a lot. Boys hockey.
And what is the financial impact to us of the merger? Is it, are we allocated a portion of the coaching costs?
Yeah, it's on a per capita basis, we split that cost.
Okay.
And somebody's got to be the lead. Unfortunately, we have the lead for the ice hockey, which is a real pain in the neck, because you're dealing with ice time and
Yeah.
transportation at weird times, and, but we do it, because we do have a lot of hockey players.
Okay. Any other questions? Can we take them all together? Items A through G, athletic mergers. May we please have a motion to approve? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
And then the last action item for the board this evening is the second reading of these 6 policies. Policy Board Subcommittee, which includes members of the leadership team and 3 members of the board, chaired by Pete McSherry, had reviewed these, and the board read them as a first reading last month. And so they're before you as a second reading, which would then put them into policy.
Yeah, and these are all mostly little changes to existing policies, like little language changes. Any questions or comments? There being none, could we please have a motion to adopt these policies after a second reading?
Motion.
Oh, I can't do that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Did you have anything from health and safety? I don't think we really have much in the way of committee reports.
Really reports, I think maybe an update on
on the safety around the earthquake. Rachel, want to share that?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So you're taking the wind out of my video for Friday.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
okay. No,
Well,
quite
I
all
said
right.
the same thing.
Yeah, that's quite all right. So as everyone is aware, we sustained an earthquake a week ago Friday. And I'm very pleased that that certainly was unpredictable and not something that we've experienced here, certainly in my couple of decades. I was really so impressed with how calm everybody stayed. I had contemplated going over the loudspeaker to help calm things down, but then I realized so many in the building didn't feel it. So I didn't want to cause unnecessary panic. So instead, I got an email out to all the faculty. I was on the phone immediately with the chief of police. And we consulted with one another, and then Vic Preeny and Mike Lee led a inspection of the building immediately to make sure that we didn't have any leaking pipes or any kind of structural damage. So that was done immediately, and I'm happy to report that there was no damage at all. So again, I thank the faculty and the staff and even the students who really stayed calm and went about their business. We were not in session at 6 p.m. when the aftershock came through, so I have nothing to report on that. But again, thank you to everyone for handling that so well.
Nothing else?
I just have, just wanted to reiterate a big thank you to the PTA and also the village trustees and Mayor Marvin for helping contribute to the beautification project underway out in front of the school. We could certainly not do it without their help.
That's right. Great, thank you, everybody. Brings us to the public comment portion of the meeting. I don't see anything in the queue electronically. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board? It's just a reminder, if you wish to speak, please just identify yourself. And we're eager to hear your comments. We're unable to kind of engage in back and forth unless to clarify an easy question or fact. But if there's anyone who wishes to speak, please come forward.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Carolyn Duncan. I'm a parent of two fifth graders and first grader. Congrats on the tenure announcement. It's very exciting. I and some other parents who've attended tonight and others that we're communicating with, we wanted to participate in the public comments around the decision by the board and the faculty to not continue with Latin instruction for rising sixth graders. A number of us have written to Dr. Kelly and the board regarding this and received a response. We want to make sure that the response and the plan going forward is made visible in the public comment and content from the board. We're also in contact with Ms. Conniff and Dr. Kelly about a follow-up meeting, which I know will be part of the discussion, but we're really looking forward to continuing the conversation around that because we feel passionately about Latin as a potential language for our children, and thank you for considering it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Carolyn. Anybody else? All right, then, thank you again, and if there's no further business, could we please have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.